thought it looked really interesting, and I played in like a beta or something for it when
Yeah.
it was supposed to be kind of like, I think it was going to try to be like a Diablo style, like regularly adding, like obviously it's not, isometric, but like regularly adding content, how these dungeons, like all that stuff.
Yeah.
And no one played it, so they pivoted and now have made it basically like a game you can just play through.
Yeah.
Uh, I'm really, I got it on sale for very inexpensive. It
Yeah.
was on sale on Steam for like, I feel like $5 or something.
Oh,
Uh,
nice.
I'm having a great time with it for that price for sure. Like, I think it is criminally, I should say criminally, it is underrated, and I think the reviews of it are a bit harsh, but I think most of those come from the previous version of the game, if you would. So when it was still a um going to kind of be this living ongoing thing,
Mhm.
whereas now is pretty much just a package. Like you can just sit down, play through it, and be done.
Yeah.
What is weird though is that the progression still feels very much like they were clearly going for this other thing, because like you'll literally like go talk to someone and they'll send you to talk to someone else, and it's like mission completed, you get all
Oh.
this stuff. And you're like, well, I didn't really do anything, but thanks, I appreciate that. But yeah, it's fun, the action's pretty cool. Like it's pretty simple so far, but yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's a fun, I don't know, it's a neat world. It's that, it's kind of one of those things, like it is a good version of all the things it's trying to do, but not a great version of any of the things it's trying to do.
Does it run well on the Steam Deck?
Yeah, the for the most part, yes, it ran really, really well the first like hour that I played it, and then I took a break and I played it again. And it looked a little less nice the second time I played it, but overall, like it runs smoothly. A little bit of a visual downgrade, but runs really well. So
Yeah. Cool.
yeah, I would recommend giving it a whirl if you want to.
I might.
So yeah. Speaking of that though, Josh, I was curious.
Yeah.
What's the longest you've ever gone without playing
Oh.
a video game?
I saw that question. I don't know the answer to that question. I think it would have to be a time where it wasn't accessible to me. So
Right.
it's been a while.
Yeah. Yeah, and
I-
I try to decide if I count phone games in this, because when we went to Disney recently, like I didn't bring
yeah, it would be like a
anything.
vacation like that. Yeah.
Yeah, but I was keeping up with my like dailies from the couple like small little mobile games that I play that take me 5 minutes a day. Um, but the reason this came up though, and granted this is different, is that we got a new puppy roughly 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I had not turned on my PlayStation 5 until last night. Since
Really?
we got the puppy. Yeah, so almost 3 weeks without me turning on my PlayStation, which for me
Yeah.
is pretty ridiculous. And I turned it on to play Crimson Desert because I wanted to at least have played it a little bit. So yeah. But yeah. So I was just trying, so that made me think. I was like, obviously, I've been playing my Steam Deck a lot. That's kind of like really the only way I've been gaming. So it made me wonder, like, what was the longest you could recall without actually playing a game? Because not playing PlayStation for 3 weeks for me feels really weird.
Yeah, I bet. That's a
But
long period
also,
of time.
yeah, but also, I don't think it was that bad.
You didn't miss it.
I did to a degree, but when I was playing it, and granted, maybe it's because I was playing Crimson Desert, I don't know. It wasn't yeah, like that's the stuff, like where you expect when you have this thing where you're
Crimson
like,
Desert dig.
maybe not. I don't know, but maybe it would have been, maybe But like I haven't played. I think this is the longest I've gone without playing Overwatch since Overwatch came out in 2016.
Not the new Overwatch. Original Overwatch.
Original Overwatch, yeah, since OG Overwatch came out. Like I think this is the longest I've gone without playing it since it came out.
I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that everyone could use a break, whether it's 3 days or 3 weeks. I think yeah, you have meaningful time away from it. I think it's different if it's like it has potential to be different for time periods like that.
Yeah. I miss talking to my Overwatch people, but I don't miss playing Overwatch.
Sure. I mean, I get that. Like, I don't always, I think your point on mobile games is like the exception. I don't always want to play games or am always in the mood for it, but yeah, there's always like something, like if I'm not playing a video game, on my TV. I'm probably playing on my phone first, just to kill some time before bed or something.
Right. Yeah. I hear you. But hey, welcome, dear listeners. This is Board with Video Games. I'm Kyle Hyman. That's Josh Barboni.
Mm.
We're thrilled you're joining us. I'd be curious, listener, what's the longest you've gone without gaming?
Yeah, tell us right now.
Yeah, tell us right now. Just immediately yell it out in the
Yell it.
car or at home, at work, wherever you're listening to it. Just yell it out and see what people say. But as always, if you have any feedback, questions, topics, hit us up at boardwithvg@gmail.com or on Instagram, also boardwithvg, or part of the Place of Video Games podcast family, as well as the Dice Tower Network. So feel free to check them out for all of your video games and tabletop needs, respectively. Josh, I'm so thrilled to be podcasting with you tonight. I am beat, man. Weather has been so weird. I think we're on like third spring right now.
Yeah.
Because about 48 hours ago, it was probably in like the low 30s. Today it was like 76.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and now in 2 days it's supposed to be really cold again.
You know what my computer says now?
What's that?
Temps to plummet next Thursday.
I get it Tuesday, you get it Thursday. But yeah, so I was outside basically all day today, just working on like yard stuff and home things and all this good stuff. And then I was like, oh man, I'm excited to podcast tonight, but I'm tired. I'm beat, man.
Yeah, I mean, that's, what we could do? We could always knock 2 actions off of this and make it an hour podcast.
We'll see how we're feeling. Once we get into it, and like I said, I'm excited and thrilled to be here. It's always shocking to me of like how much, real life gets in the way of the fun things I want to do. So,
yeah.
But
No,
hey, Josh, speaking of our actions, why don't you kick us off? What's the first thing you want to discuss this evening?
I kind of want to ask you about Crimson Desert, though.
No, do it. That's fine. We can just we can start there. We can talk about Crimson Desert.
I want to ask, how long did you play?
I've only played for maybe a little over an hour, so not super long.
And what's your first impressions?
Okay, my first impression is, so I did, obviously when we recorded a couple of weeks ago, I was like, oh, I'm kind of like oddly looking forward to this game. And then the game came out and it was obviously very divisive. Tons of people had tons of opinion and I consumed a lot of things about it because I had been super interested in it. But then with all of the feedback, I was like, man, do I really want to spend the money on this thing? But the more I read, I was like, okay, actually, this is making me slightly more interested in it. So I went ahead, got it, downloaded it, played it for an hour. Now I did play it after the initial patch that came out. So yeah, the review, like the reviews happened. There was a ton of feedback, and then like a week later or 3 days later or whatever, like they had their first like significant patch.
Yeah,
I only played it after that, so I don't know how it was when it launched initially. I'm not certain, but I will say this is one of the weirdest games I've ever played, Josh. It is so just bizarre because I have no idea or context really of why I'm doing anything that I'm doing.
Yeah.
There's a small thread of like, okay, the bear people are trying to take over the world from the wolf people. I'm a wolf person, so I'm going to fight the bear people. But other than that, I don't really know what's going on. And then I died, but then I didn't. I guess spoilers for the first 5 minutes of the game. I died, but then I didn't. Have you played any?
Yeah, it's a scripted death. Yeah.
Yes, it is a scripted death. Yeah. And then you have, you're running around and doing some puzzle solving. I'm going to tell you, it took me way longer than it should have to figure out how to do the little shine your blade thing.
Oh.
I was like, what am I supposed to be aiming it at? How am I not aiming it at it? Because this doesn't really like indicate to you that you're like, okay,
and then you have to press a different button. Yeah.
Yeah. And the fact that you could like literally like shine your blade to like try to blind your enemies with the sun is like ridiculous, right?
Yeah.
I can't figure out, and maybe I'm just dumb, which is no, I know that, but maybe so I think it's novel that your L1 or your left bumper or however you want it, whatever controller you're playing on. I think it's novel that you hold that down and it kind of gives you like additional options, right? Like you can do like your really specific jump that way. You can like interact with people differently in the world that way. You can help differentiate between like the people that you're trying to talk to. It's great. However, I can't figure out how to do it without like using my lantern. Like, do you always just use your lantern at the same time?
You always use your lantern, I think.
Okay, because I was like, why have
people react to? They're like,
I'm like, why am I shining my lantern on everyone? Like, because I tried to like unselect my lantern and that didn't work, and I'm still like like raising my lantern to everyone. So I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah.
So that's kind of neat. I will say it was really weird for me for a while that I couldn't like run and jump at the same time. But then I realized you can run and jump at the same time. You just cannot be holding down the run button
Right.
and then try to jump.
Yeah.
So
Tap
if,
it.
so if you tap it to run and then jump, you're fine. But if you hold down the run and try to jump, you can't.
Yeah.
That's weird. Uh, so the combat, right? Like, okay, it's on R1, R2, or RB, what is it?
RT.
RT, thank you, right trigger.
Yeah.
There we go on the Xbox, right? So that's what your attacks are on, but you just hold it down, right? Like you don't gotta like hit it over and over again. You just hold it down and you do your
Do you? I haven't been holding it down. I've been hitting
Oh
it.
yeah, you can just hold it down, Josh,
Okay.
because these people, right? Pearl Abyss made their Black Desert Online. They made an MMO. Well,
Yeah.
a lot of MMOs, that's all you do, right? So
Yeah.
here you go. Just hold it down. Just hold it down. He'll keep swinging the sword and doing his stuff. So that's kind of weird. So I don't know if I love that. I it's just Josh, this game is so weird. I went and like arm wrestled a dude.
Yes.
I don't know why I arm wrestled them other than I found out that I could arm wrestle someone. And then I went and gave money to a homeless person. I don't know why I did that. It just told me that I needed to. And then he left and then I went into the sewer. Why? I have no idea. It just told me to go in the sewer, so I did.
Well, because he gave you a key.
But
And
I don't
did you
even
see
got
where
keys
he
for
went after you gave him his money?
Yeah, he disappeared. He just
into
disappeared.
the wall.
Yeah.
Totally normal thing to do.
But I don't even know if that key was for the sewer. I think it just
No, it was. It was for the sewer.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was just a random key that I'm going to need in the future. And
No.
then I saved a lady in the sewer and she also disappeared, but she gave me a letter. So I have a letter now.
Did you get the treasure chest to the left in the sewer?
No, I saved it like that's where I stopped. I got the letter and then I stopped.
So before you go, when you go back towards the entrance, instead of going straight, turn left and walk down. There's like a path over a cliff inside the sewer.
Okay.
Yeah.
And there's a treasure chest.
There's a treasure chest over there.
Okay. So Josh, all this to say, this game is a Weirdsmobile. And I kind of love that it's a Weirdsmobile.
Yeah.
I don't know if I like it or I hate it. I don't think I'm still formulating my opinion, but Crimson Desert, I'm really glad it exists because I think it has made the conversation around games far more interesting than it has been in a bit. But what's your experience like? What are you thinking about Crimson Desert so far?
Oddly enough, I think I love it kind of.
Yeah.
For some reason, it feels like the game I like wanted Elden Ring to be.
Oh, okay.
And I think that's really purely based off of the combat doesn't feel impossible, and I enjoy it. It can be sparse. You can I do like that you have the ability to kind of get into combat situations frequently while exploring, but you don't have to. I do agree. Like the controls are very weird.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to fit all these toggles onto a controller.
Yeah.
That are typically PC things, and even on the PC, the controls are weird from what I've been watching.
Yeah.
I also have been consuming a lot of videos of it because I think it's just fascinating. I really like that you can just kind of stumble upon things in the world as you're going. Like even I start playing and I'm trying to follow the quest line as close as I can. The story again, it's a little underbaked or just poorly put together, and that's okay. I don't mind that so much because I play a lot of games without a cohesive story because the gameplay is fun enough. But going down once you get through the tutorial and everything, and I'm working toward mining ore as one of the quests. So I get a pickaxe. I'm going to this destination. As I'm on my way to the destination, I just kind of go off path, kind of like how I picture in Forza. I have a destination. I don't drive on the road. I drive off the road.
Right.
As the crow flies. So I'm taking my guy as the crow flies, and I'm like, oh, it's just down this mountainous ledge. So I carefully walk down the ledge, and what do I come across? A supply of weapons that just was sitting next to a cart on a cliff wall. And I got a new sword, a new bow, a new shield, and it was all better than my current equipment. I was like, that's awesome. And I think as you got it like a pre-order deal, there's also like you can get armor if you go to your gifts, I think.
Oh,
Like when you
I
press
didn't
start.
pre-order it.
Oh well, I got some, so you probably have it too.
Cool.
If you press start, it pulls up the menu. If you go to the furthest menu where it says save load, I know there's a
Yeah.
lot of menus too.
There's a lot of menus in this game. Yeah.
There's something like get gifts or something, and it's a whole
Okay.
full armor set and a sword,
Gotcha.
sword of the wolf, armor of the wolf, bow of the
Okay.
wolf, a bunch of stuff.
Nice.
It looks really cool. I also love the look of the armor. I love the look of the game.
Yeah.
It does have an odd like sci-fi element to it.
Yeah.
Which is yet to be really spelled out. It's because there's also fantasy elements to it,
Mm-hmm.
and like then it's very cool. I really dig the vibe of it. It's just it seems like it's gonna be a lot of fun, and I don't mind going a little slower as I'm walking through the world. It is taking time to get used to. Pressing in R3 doesn't run; it crouches.
No. Yeah,
and like having to mash X to run, or even on a horse, mashing X instead of like just going is also like something that I have to get used to. But I think overall, I really enjoy it so far.
It is curious as well. Like when you talk to people, like you get experience for something, but I don't know what.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like you just randomly get like experience. And you're like, okay, I don't know what that's going to be for, but cool, that's neat. Also, though, putting interact and jump on the same button, that's a bad idea.
Yes,
that's always a bad idea. Now you have to hold it for the interact part, but man, I'd be jumping sometimes, Josh. I'd be jumping.
I do the same thing. Yeah, and then there's a when you get back out of the sewer, find the bell tower that's there.
Yeah, I do remember hearing something about a bell tower. One of the random people I talked to mentioned the bell tower was important, so that was my planned next
It's right
stop.
in the town, but you can like I also think you can just there is like a little tiny little tutorial that teaches you that you can basically climb up anything with the jump button, kind of like Zelda style, like you have your stamina drops.
Yeah.
So you could like just go scale yourself up the side of a building.
Okay.
There is a part that they tell you can't go in to the castle because you're not dressed well enough.
Yep, I had that happen. Yeah.
I was like, okay, fine. So I walk around the back of the castle. I climb up the side. At the second I climb up, there's a guard right there. I just dropped myself back off the wall, and he didn't see me. So I went a little bit further. I climbed over. I got in, and then I was like, "Oh, piece of cake!" And then I just start like walking through the middle of the castle, and I get like every knight attacks me. I'm like, oh, I guess I can't pretend to fit in here. But I'm enjoying that. I'm enjoying the. I was like, oh, quick save here. Let's do a little save before I climb this wall.
Yeah. Well, and it's pretty crazy too that when you go into, because as you mentioned there, there's menus upon menus upon menus in this game, but when you go in there and you see like, you're on like 35 of like 450, or like like you have like some of the numbers of like X of like the number after the of is so big on some of these things that I'm like, oh my gosh, this is gonna take forever to do this game.
Yeah.
So it's ambitious. I appreciate the swing. I really, maybe I should evaluate them like I would a baseball player, right? Like if they do 30% of this well, then is it a success?
Above average, yeah.
But yeah, I'm sure we'll be talking about this game for a while. So yeah, I think it is a curious game that I am glad exists, and I look forward to continuing to dig into. So
cool. Yeah, I like it as well. Yes. Okay. Should we talk about the PlayStation 5?
I mean, yeah, let's do it. Let's talk about
it. So really what I want to talk about, not necessarily PlayStation specifically, but just like talking about what is the entry point for gaming in 2026 for people who have kids, people who haven't gotten into gaming yet and want to, and like what are your options. But like this is starting from the conversation of the PlayStation price hikes. I'm assuming this is related to our memory RAM issues that are
Hmm.
happening, but uh, regardless, we have a price hike. It's a pretty significant one, I believe.
Yeah.
And I don't know if the article I picked tells you the price differences, but I believe the price for the PS5 Pro went up like $150.
Hmm.
So it's now $900 for a PS5 Pro. The digital edition at $600 still is wowing me.
Yeah. Right. Whew.
And the PS5 itself with the disc drive is $649. Uh, and also the Portal has gone up to $250, which is a $50 increase. Still, percentage wise, it's pretty high.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, it's just even I was like hearing the things we're thinking, hearing about the PS5 Pro. I'm like, oh, is that even something that maybe I would want to trade my PS5 in
Hmm.
towards, just to experience? Like, I'm sure Crimson Desert looks even better on a PS5 Pro, and like,
Right.
uh, and Resident Evil, but and that's not including the thing that people forget to think about a lot is if you need an extra controller, what are
Yeah.
you paying for that? What are you paying for um, a charger if you need it? You can't use batteries on the PS5 controllers. You still
Mm-mm.
can on the Xbox, but still. Um, Thinking of a PS5 Pro at $899, and I believe not that anyone's buying Xboxes anymore. The 2 terabyte Series X is like it's $700, right? Yeah, $800. $800 on
800 bucks, I
eBay.
think. Yeah.
So $100 difference. It's still like crazy. I mean, the Xbox One was crazy to begin with, right? Like that was
Hmm.
just you're charging more for a console that you're not selling, and it's
Right.
just for an extra terabyte of data. That's
Yeah.
the only difference. Except I think they called it like the Galaxy, and it has like sparkles or something on
Yeah.
it. But yeah, the 2 terabyte Galaxy Black. That being said, you can't buy Steam Decks really accessibly right now.
Yeah. They're tough to find.
Nintendo Switch 2 cut 30% of its manufacturing down, which I mean,
And
I don't
that's supposedly
know.
because they didn't sell well
I was
over the
gonna say,
holiday.
but like I've seen, I just assumed it was because they made it so available.
Hmm.
Everywhere I've gone, I've seen. Well, now I see consoles everywhere.
Hmm.
Period. But when the Switch 2 came out, there wasn't really that like months and months of no Switch 2s available. In fact, like during the holidays, you could walk into any store and find them.
Yeah, for sure.
I really hope it's not because it's not performing well, because I'm really enjoying my time with the Switch 2, but uh, it just seems like people aren't getting games as much anymore or game consoles as much anymore. And I was curious if you agree with that, and I I don't know that Sony has to worry, but do you think that this hurts Sony?
I mean, does it hurt them? I mean, yeah, right. Less people are going to be able to afford to buy a console now. Period.
Yeah,
Right. Like this.
period.
So does it hurt? Absolutely, it does. Does it? Here's the question: does it hurt as much as it should? Probably not. This is the
Right.
unfortunate reality, right? Like, um, yes, PlayStation is now more expensive than Xbox, but let's see if these rumors hold true. Right, the rumors are that both Xbox and Nintendo are going to be raising their prices
Yeah.
soon.
Yeah.
So we'll see if that happens. I think this definitely opens the door for that to happen. Because Xbox not selling well, but when they were more expensive than PlayStations, that was bonkers,
Yeah.
right? And we're now. How often have you ever, like, as an early adopter, been like, "Whew, glad I got in when I did," right? Like
Right.
that has never happened before. Where suddenly, we're 5 years, 6 years into a console, and it's now more expensive than it's ever been. Like
Yeah.
this is really, really ridiculous, and I, it does make it hard to recommend or encourage anyone to be a gamer, right? Like, how can I possibly encourage someone or recommend anyone get into this hobby right now. It is so prohibitively expensive. And I think if you are already in, like if you have a console, if you have a PC, if you have a Steam Deck, I think there are ways to play really good games really affordably.
Yeah.
But I think the barrier to entry now is so significant that if you're not already in, like I don't know how anybody gets. And yeah, imagine that, PC, like mobile games are going to probably, thrive in this environment more than they have previously, because
Yeah.
people are going to figure out a way to have a phone. They're not necessarily going to figure out a way to have a console. So I think this is bad, for everyone. My assumption would be, right, that I don't think PlayStation wanted to increase the price, but I
Right.
also think that they did not want to sell their console at a loss or a significant loss. And just the absolute insanity of PC, like RAM, and just all of these things that are all being like shifted to AI is just, it's nuts. It really, really is just a kind of weird, insane world to live in right now for a lot of reasons. But when you're thinking about gaming, like it, I can't remember the last time, and even we're going to talk a little bit later about the Xbox Partner Preview that I think has some really good games in it.
Yeah.
I like I have never, and I feel like this has been a perpetual conversation for the last couple of years. Like, man, it's really hard to be optimistic about gaming right now, right? But I'm still playing great games, which is what's so weird about it, right?
Yeah.
The industry news is always so dour, but man, when I'm actually, the games I'm actually playing for the most part, I'm having a great time. So but it's this really weird dichotomy, and this really kind of weird um experience we're going through, where man, it just seems like everything, the sky is falling. But man, last year was an incredible year for gaming. This year looks to be an incredible year for gaming, but it seems like everything around those is just falling apart. But what do you think, sir?
I mean, to kind of piggyback off of the gaming thing, like I kind of do think about and worry about the development cycle versus the time of games that we're getting. And what is like Crimson Desert took them 7 years to make it.
Yeah,
Typically, that's not how long it takes a game to get made, but big
right.
games like that, it does. So, are we at risk in 5 years of not having a lot of games come out, or even 3 years?
Yeah.
Like we've seen, like for the past 3 years, we've just seen layoffs and layoffs and layoffs and
Hmm.
layoffs continuously. And yeah, it hasn't necessarily affected game releases. In fact, usually it happens right after a game is released.
Right.
But what does that mean for what's in the future and what's in development?
Hmm.
Because games are getting shut down mid development now, so games are getting shut down pre development, so and post development.
Right.
So I think I'm more curious about the gaming options as it is, but thinking of like game console prices, I just think like it's leaning it's a sign to go towards PC gaming
Hmm.
or mobile gaming or handheld gaming, right?
Yeah.
So like I think about what you said about how much your Steam Deck has got you to play Steam more,
Yeah.
and I think for the price of a PS5 Pro or an Xbox Series X 2 terabyte, you can get a pretty good computer right now that will run probably the most current games at low settings,
Hmm.
kind of like a Steam Deck. You can get a Steam Deck if you can find one. Um, and then you also have that we have all these, if you have a good Steam library or like a family library,
Yeah.
or you can just buy fanatical bundles and get like 25 games for $15,
Right.
and maybe three of them are winners, and that's enough. I found a game. I did one of those bundles and I got Rainbreaker,
Hmm.
which is like a Hades esque kind of game, and it's great. It's super cool, and I got it for like $1. So like there are these options for people. They just need to, I think, venture away from the consoles if they want to find it. And I think a lot of people are intimidated by PC gaming because they don't know how mainstream it is now.
Yeah.
Like with all the launchers and everything, as much as
Yeah.
people hate them, it's more of like a console hub, so it's easier, I think, to grasp for those players.
Yeah. oddly enough, I was at, and here's what's kind of like wild to me, and this is gonna sound kind of douchish, and I don't mean it to, but I think it helps for me, I think contextually understand like the situation, right? Like I live in the middle of the country. Like I live in the middle of like nowhere ostensibly, right? So
Yeah.
like my cost of living where I live is not high. We don't have any kids. We're dual income household. My partner's job is is a good pay. I wouldn't say super good, but it's a good paying job. My job is fine, but her job pays really well or very well. Um, and like I we literally had a conversation like and because I was gonna potentially talk about this and where I'm waiting, but like about me going to buy a Switch 2.
Hmm.
And because I do want to play Pocopia and the Yoshi game comes out in May. And so I was like, yeah, I do want to get in on this. And she's like, hey, can you wait just because, XYZ, like if you hear about a price hike, like yeah, we can do it, but I just want to make sure like these couple things happen that we have in the like these things that we're working on get
Yeah.
done, just to make sure financially everything is cool. I'm like, yeah, that's fine, right? But like I don't want to be a jerk, but like if we're like, oh, let's make sure,
Yeah.
right, that like these things are gonna go okay. Like it just is so hard right now, right? Like everything feels really challenging. And honestly, as I've been, playing my Steam Deck more and like looking at these things, like I legitimately see a future, especially if, in the next month or so, if I do pick up a Switch 2, that like maybe I am like a Steam Deck Switch 2 person,
Yeah.
right? Like I pick up the Nintendo games I want to play on my Switch 2. Everything else I'm basically playing on my Steam Deck, my PC, like that we record the podcast and stuff on. It's fine. It's not a great PC, but it can play most current games on medium to low settings, right? Like I'm not going
Yeah.
to be ripping 180 frames a second, but I can play them, right? So I can play most of the stuff, and it does make it like I if gosh, this feels like I feel like I'm being priced out of the market. And that
Yeah.
is kind of insane for me to think, right? Like I am someone who's fortunate that I tend to have like play money that I can do stuff with. And I
Yeah.
feel like I'm being like priced out. And
Well, you're just being responsible with your money. That's all. And
yeah,
a lot of people like myself aren't. So
I'm
I
trying really
understand
hard
what
with
you
this.
mean.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I understand your point. I take it because it is something people really have to think about. And when I think when you look at the PlayStation prices like that, it sounds to me like you more worry for those people who are going to spend that money because you're like, you don't have to spend that. Like that's a lot. Don't do it. Like, and I get that because like I don't need to spend that much on any console. Period.
Yeah. Well, and because I had been thinking about getting a pro, and then as soon as they announced this, the answer was just no. Like, I'm
Yeah.
not spending $900 on a like, I'm not. Like, I'm
Yeah.
just not going to do it. And could I trade in my PS5 to like, yeah, I 100% could. But you know what? This is now you've made it too complicated. You
It's
have
also too
made
late in the life cycle of this. You're gonna buy a PS5 Pro just for a PS6 to be announced next
right,
year. You're like,
especially if
oh,
it is going to be next fall, like they're saying, right? Next
yeah,
holiday, like they're saying, like I'll just wait. I'll just
yeah,
wait and I'll get that. And then maybe I even won't. Who knows? Like we'll have to wait and
yeah. Not
see.
if it's $1,200. I don't know
Yeah,
that anyone will be buying it.
I know. It's just nuts. So yeah, obviously it's really frustrating that PlayStation did this, but also I this is just like what we've been seeing everywhere, right? Like
Yeah,
everything
I don't blame
is
them
getting
specifically.
so expensive.
Yeah,
And I do think that they held off a lot longer than because like Xbox did their round of increases last year. At least in the US, PlayStation has held off as like for quite a while in increasing their prices. Um, and that's not like give them their flowers. We should like reward them for that. But it does seem now that they are doing it. It feels like it's gonna kind of inevitable for Xbox to
yeah.
probably do it again, and for Nintendo to probably do it again.
The big question is, what is this? What are they going to do with their subscription service?
Yeah, there's been some rumors out there about what's going to happen there. We'll see,
They got to
because
be really
a lot of
careful.
those rumors, like, because there was one rumor that basically said that next month PlayStation's going to double the price of all their subscriptions.
That
It's
would
like
be
okay,
insane.
that would be insane, but B,
Yeah,
I can't imagine that's
there's no
happening.
way. That's just fear mongering.
Yeah, I think it's somebody trying to get some clout and be like, oh, blah blah blah. But yeah, I don't think that's happening. I'm sure that their subscriptions will go up though. They always do. Like, I mean, Netflix just raised their prices again.
Yeah, I think I might have to cancel.
So yeah. I think I am gonna. For the last couple months we've been watching a reasonable amount of TV, so we've kind of had a few things running. But I think we're gonna go back to like maybe only having one or two a month, and then we'll use those for 2 or 3 months, and then cancel them and jump into something else because it's just everything is so darn expensive these days. My
Yeah,
goodness gracious. So
agreed.
okay. Well, Josh, how about some happy news? This isn't happy either. It's not, I guess, not horrible, but I don't know. The Tabletop Game Designers Association, the TTGDA, which formed a couple years ago, and really kind of exists to help support board game designers in the United States, did a survey of their members and about AI use in board games.
Yeah.
And what I found fascinating is the results of the survey both surprised me and didn't surprise me all at the same time. There were certain things I was really surprised by,
Yeah.
and other things that I was not. So there's a story on the Board Game Wire. There also is, you can go read the whole TTGDA report on their website, but they basically really they surveyed 171 designers and basically asked them kind of to talk about AI in 7 different areas, like coming up with ideas for games or mechanisms, writing placeholder text, writing text for the final version of a published game, editing or proofreading text, making placeholder art, making art for the final version of a published game, and creating marketing materials of a game. So that's kind of like the 7 areas they asked them for feedback in. And I was surprised because, the results say that more than half of board game designers in the TTGDA have used generative AI in their work. Now, that doesn't mean in the final product,
Yeah.
but as part of their work in designing their games, more than half of the 171 designers who were surveyed said that they have used generative AI. Now, they did say when we got to the point of like, you know, making art for the final version of a published game, I think only like one person said that they were okay with that of the
Yeah.
171, right? So there definitely are like limits here to a degree. But Josh, that first, kind of bullet point of like, hey, more than half have used it while designing board games. What's your reaction to that? What's your thought? Is this surprising to you or not surprising to you?
It's not surprising anymore. I think it would have
Okay.
been a year ago if we had talked about it, but um, it doesn't surprise me. I guess I kind of understand some of the reasons why they're saying that they use them, and the examples they give.
Right.
I just think it's like a slippery slope, right? You start using it as
Mm-hmm.
you're opposed to it, then you start using it, and then you realize you're still using it, and it's 17 years later, and the
Right.
robots are walking down the streets. Uh, it just seems like if you're opposed to it, be opposed to it, and maybe let's I don't know. In my mind, I'm like, why don't we attack this from a sustainability point instead of it's stealing art from the artist? Let's talk about what else it's doing, because a lot of people aren't asking those questions on AI usage. But I think when you're looking at parts where they say like they have it using art for placeholders and things like that, um, we're not past the point yet where you can't really tell AI art apart now, and you can. So like
Mm-hmm.
you can make your decision if you want to get a game that has used AI art or not, whether you don't know it in the final version or it's in the final version. Like there's a clear I don't know the right word, but it just doesn't look good. And like you're the great example of this, because you're like, I don't know what it is, what I'm seeing, but I don't like it. And
Right.
whether
Yeah.
it's AI or not, it's giving you the feeling like it might be AI, regardless of if it's a human or not, which means maybe that human was inspired by what AI art looked like when they were using it to develop their Tomb Raider game,
Mm-hmm.
or whatever the case may be. Like, it's just you start using it, it gives you the opportunity to continue to use it. So either say you're against it or say you're not, and then let's move on, because I think we're at that point where it's just everywhere and we can't do anything about it at this point.
Right.
And that feels like a defeatist statement, but I think it's true.
Yeah. So I think what is interesting about this is that I think your slippery slope perspective is true, right? Like you're like, oh, I'm going to use it for this one little thing, and then that one little thing becomes these multiple little things, and
Yeah.
and I think that's how you start seeing people use it for more and more and more. What I do wonder about is like how it seems like most people are like firm, kind of like you mentioned about like I'm not going to use it for like art in our game, right? But where like what is that line? Is that the
Right.
line? And where does it like how as we continually down the slippery slope of using it for more and more, where would this actually fit in? And that's where it gets curious, I guess, as to I guess because of how strong and how loud people are about the pushing of not using um AI like in board games and video games and things like that. The number of people who said they use it, it was actually way higher than I thought it would
Oh
be.
yeah. Yeah.
Right? Because it's so much um consternation that is publicly said like anytime this topic comes up that it's really really hard to, you know, meaningfully engage in conversation about like when using AI may or may not like work, right? Or might make sense. And what I do feel, and so I'm gonna push back on you a little bit here.
Yeah.
When we talk about like the potential environmental impacts, right? Like when we talk about the challenges of AI, like right, like I think that's an easy thing for us to pull out. But let's be honest, like watching an hour of Netflix takes and uses way more energy than AI does, right? In the
Yeah.
sense of if you did like literally did like AI inquiries for the entire hour that you were watching like Netflix, you're using way more data, like way more energy and way more water, like watching Netflix than you are using AI.
Okay. That's fair.
So,
That's fair.
I do think, uh, yeah. So I think that's like a weird one about that because I do think it's a really, and not saying that it's not important and still meaningful, but I think a lot of times we focus on that as being the thing, but when we don't want to change other parts of our lives that are actually probably more
Yeah,
impactful.
but just compounding that, like
Yeah.
it's more on top of more. So
Yeah. So, because oh man, I'm trying to remember what the number is. It's like, because even like sending an email like is more than like a typical like AI inquiry.
is it really?
Yeah, for as far as the amount of energy it uses. Yeah.
Even for like the generative AI, like producing art and stuff.
So I think it gets a little bit that's where it gets a little more complicated because it's
Yeah.
like obviously if you're just doing like prompts of
No, I
questions.
don't think if you're using like Chat GPT, but I
Mhm,
think I don't know enough about it. Period. So
right.
I don't want to speak on it, but I think that I heard that like the art and the videos, all that, it's
The
using a
videos I'm
significant amount.
sure just because obviously even just like using video like Zoom is like does uses a lot too.
Yeah.
But I think it's something like a small image generation on like Chat GBT is equivalent to like sending or you'd have to generate like 5 images to equate to like sending an email
Okay, I get you.
or something like that. But again, obviously complexity scale, there's a whole lot of other factors that play
Yeah.
into that. But if you do like one simple AI image, I think you'd have to do like 5 of them to like be equal to like sending an email. And like you'd have to send and like you have to send like, oh shoot, what is it? Like 10 emails to be equivalent to like an hour of Netflix or YouTube or something like that. So
Really?
then,
Yeah.
it just compounds out that way. Anyway, these are all like rough like data like things about it, but doesn't mean it doesn't mean that the environmental impact isn't something to be considered. It just means that there's probably more impactful things we could be doing
Yeah. Yeah.
from an environment standpoint. But anyway, so yeah, I think that for me though was the biggest thing. Just I was surprised at the number of people who are using AI. Um, even if it's like running through like a rule book, right? To like, is there like read through this rule book as someone who had never played the game before? Is there anything that you think would be confusing, right? Like,
Right. Right.
it
Right.
seems like a totally reasonable thing to have AI do. You should also have people do that, right? But as another double check, seems like
Right.
that would be okay, right? Like,
Yeah. Just people aren't double checking.
yeah, right. Yes, exactly. So, Cool. But yeah, like I said, if you're interested more in about how people are using it, you can check out the Board Game Wire story, or the Tabletop Game Designers Association website has the entire report. So feel free to check that out.
Yeah.
All right, Josh, what's your next action, sir?
Well, crowdfunding is alive and thriving,
Nice.
and also crowdfunding is dead.
Wait, what? What
Yeah.
happened? I'm so confused. I don't understand.
So you want to talk about death or life?
Let's talk about life. Oh my goodness gracious.
Yeah, isn't that nuts?
That is insane. Maybe
So
Kickstarter is gonna be back on top over Game Found this year. Jeez.
yeah, so Kickstarter's back with a vengeance, powered by CD Projekt Red, of course. Who else but CD Projekt Red? CD Projekt Red is bringing the official Cyberpunk TCG, which is a very expensive entry to get in on this. I saw it. I was like, I'll wait till it's in the stores. But that being said, they started this campaign with a goal of a measly $100,000 to get their TCG funded. These include your lowest pledge at $50 to get 2 pre-built starter decks, not unlike what you'd go buy for like a Magic starter box or something like that. And you can get a booster display for $169, which gets you 36 packs, which is actually a pretty good price. If you think the cards are probably average, like $9-10 a pack, right? You can get a starter kit, which includes all of those things and more for $349. 2 starter decks and 2 booster packs, 2 booster displays. It goes up from there. It doesn't get any cheaper. So you're,
jeez, Josh, some of these are expensive.
yeah. So you're in at $50 for starter decks. It doesn't get you any further than the starting, and you're in at $169 at the second pledge, which might explain why, partially why, the current campaign of, again, a goal of $100,000 is at $14,693. And $500 and change. But as Kyle, who knows TCGs very well, is now exploring the backer tiers, you can see they go up to $8,000.
But Josh, all are sold out except for one.
Yeah, people really want Cyberpunk TCG.
7 of the $8,000 levels are sold out, and there's 100 backers at each of those levels.
Yeah, it's nuts.
What in the?
So maybe people don't want to buy consoles. They just want to spend all this money on cards.
There is almost 800 people who've spent $8,000 on a TCG, Josh.
Yeah. And the playmats are $40. Where do they get off?
I don't.
How are you going to charge $40 for playmats?
Oh man, do they? Oh, but Josh, as a special thanks for your support, rewards for this tier ship for free. You spent $8,000, so as a thank you, you do not have to pay for shipping. Josh, what are you gonna do with almost 2,000 booster packs?
I don't know, but I'll tell you what I could do. I could roll one of these $95 dice with it.
Jeez, oh goodness gracious. Okay, it's not up to people can spend their money however they want to spend their money. That's fine. That's totally fine. What is most shocking about this whole thing to me, Josh, is that the highest backed level is the $350 level.
Yeah.
That has that has almost 8,300 backers. Where you get the 2 starter decks and 2 displays, so you get 2 of the 72 booster pack boxes.
Yeah. Also, you can get a deck box for $60 for a deck box.
What? I don't understanding.
I don't understanding words.
What is?
You can get a $150 metal poster.
Cool? Josh, do I need to go back and play Cyberpunk? Like, did I miss something that's $14 million cool?
My guess is that it must be Edge Runners that pushed him over, because I haven't seen it yet, and maybe I shouldn't watch it because I don't want to back this. Yeah,
No,
it's
oh Josh.
crazy.
So the neoprene playmats are $40,
Yes,
but
there's
the
also 100.
premium cloth playmats are 120.
Yeah, for cloth. Something that you spill something on once, it's ruined forever.
I again, I don't. People can spend their money however they want to. It's their money. They can do what they want. But I am in shock, Josh.
They did
How?
complete almost all of their stretch goals. There is one more stretch goal they haven't completed yet, which is at 15 million.
So they need
Just like
400,000,
just a little bit more.
306,000 more dollars in
The
the next
shipping will cover
2.
that.
Yeah, in 18 days still. 20,000. Oh my, Josh, I am shooketh. I can't even.
Yeah. So let's pivot to a different TCG.
I can't. Okay. Yeah, let's pivot.
We pivoted to Altered. Altered is a different TCG, a TCG that also broke Kickstarter's record with its debut crowdfunding 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Well, unfortunately, as they just launched a new Kickstarter, they failed their campaign. And I'll tell you, they said, the statement said, it would be dishonest to tell you that we can still turn the tide by Friday evening. You must face reality. The numbers simply aren't there. That's with a heavy heart that we decided to cancel. They just canceled the whole campaign. But the good news, they did reimburse everybody, which they did not have to do.
Technically, yeah.
Which I applaud them for that. It's too bad because Cyberpunk, I think, really just took all of their money.
Yeah.
They took it all times 10. So this campaign did fail. It sounds like it's actually the end of Altered from what I was reading. So that is also too bad for them. But they had a good run. They got 3 years out of it, right? So yeah, we have the life and death of card games via Kickstarter. One that really completely took Kyle by surprise and potentially ruined his night.
I mean, I don't know how yeah. Okay, I'm doing some math here quick, Josh. So
yeah.
Okay. So they raised 7 Wow. Okay. So I did for Altered's first campaign.
Yeah.
It would have averaged about $470 per backer.
Really?
Which is a lot still,
yeah.
right? Like, 7.1 million on about 15,000 backers. Doing some rough math with where the Cyberpunk one is right now.
Yeah.
They're averaging $750 about per backer.
Ooh, so those $800 ones, they're under. I mean, they're over.
Yeah, they could have gotten more. Man.
$15 million with less than 20,000 backers.
Yeah, right? Crazy. I had read the Altered one before. We talked about it because I had seen this come up, and if I recall, wasn't Altered the one where like you could play, you got your decks and you could like play them in person, but then couldn't you scan them and play them digitally too?
I believe
Altered?
that's the one. There's another one I confused it with that I thought was Altered, and it was something else that I saw at PAX a bunch, but I think it was Altered.
Yeah. So here's what I don't understand. And I say that meaning I do understand it, but I think it's stupid.
Yeah.
Their minimum, so they were at 420,000 with a goal of 50,000.
Yes.
And then they axed it. They're like, hey, our goal is 50,000 for crowdfunding. We've raised 420. We're canceling it because we actually need $2 million.
$2 million. Yeah.
Then why was your goal 50,000?
Yeah. So that's
what are you doing?
Their quote was to guarantee the future of the game. So clearly there was more behind this new expansion or set. It was like, hey, we need to make enough money to pay our employees and pay our artists. I would imagine is really what happened.
Yeah, because they said they had 420,000 from the campaign, 680,000 from retailer pre-orders, but that the 1.1 million was nowhere near enough nowhere near the 2 million they needed.
But
But
yeah,
like, how if you set your target at 50,000, were you really expecting 1.95 million from retail? Like, what are you doing?
yeah, it's pretty sad, and I think we've seen this happen. We've seen this happen with like
Yes,
a couple Kickstarters
this
we've
happens all the time.
done,
Yeah.
and it certainly happened with Simon. But yeah, they're trying to, or like I think of like Unbroken, where they're like, "Hey, we used our money for this campaign to
Yep.
help finish funding the last campaign, and now we need even more money."
Yeah.
So it gets. I mean, and I think really that's the victim of Kickstarter's policy,
Yep.
and it took it took a little while to see that, at least in the board game atmosphere. I'm not sure if any like not like IRL products like that they sold ever did that,
Mhm.
but I think we started seeing it in board gaming like 2 years
Yeah.
after Kickstarter kicked off.
Yeah.
But everyone assumed it would be right away, and I
Mhm.
know Donnie's been the victim of uh, at least two now failed Kickstarters after we talk about how successful we've had
I know, right?
times with, and then Donnie gets
Yeah.
involved with something and it's dead in the water.
Yeah.
And I
Um,
was speaking of that, I did get an email that my Army of Darkness game should be here soon.
oh,
It's
nice.
like
That's awesome.
already in the harbor in New York. I completely thought I'd be waiting a year or longer
Are
for that game.
are you, speaking of Kickstarters that are, so maybe Kickstarter is going to be like back in a big way this year. Are
Maybe.
you gonna back Slay the Spire Downfall?
No, I don't even like Slay the Spire, the video game.
You don't like the video game? I guess I never realized that.
No, I
Because
I
I did
don't.
get, I did get into,
I hate the art.
Oh, I am playing Slay the Spire too.
You know what it reminds me
Well,
of?
what's that?
You remember that game that I hate, that board game I hate?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, I can see that, I guess, a little bit. Yeah,
It's
I can
just,
kind of see that.
yeah. And I don't like the art style. And that's okay. I mean, people love it, and I love that they love it. And the board game looks interesting enough, but I think Dead Cells fulfills my board game video game uh checkbox right now.
Well, and then I see, they, as I'm just looking on Kickstarter now, there's
Yeah.
Deep Rock Galactic collectible figurines, Josh.
Yeah, they have a board game too.
I know they do. The figurines are $87 a piece.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money. So you get $318 for the collector's bundle of all four of them. And
See,
one other little
Regicide's
thing.
on there. Regicide is a popular game, right?
Yeah.
Yep. I am interested in that fighting puzzle fighter. It's kind of like Potion Explosion, but it's a fighting game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I am interested in that, but it is also not cheap.
Yeah. The one there's two right now. They're both on Game Found that I might be, that I'm struggling or deciding what I'm going to do, because there's the reprinting of the old King's Crown,
Oh.
and then Brass Pittsburgh.
Oh, brass, huh?
Yeah, there's a new brass coming out, the Brass Pittsburgh. And I was like,
Interesting.
oh, but when you get Brass Pittsburgh, you can also get collector's editions of Birmingham and Lancashire if you want to as well. But then it's like $350 if you do that for all three of them. And it's like, oh my gosh, like I'm just here complaining about how much consoles are, and I'm going to buy board games for $150 a rip. Ugh.
Yeah, it's a tough decision to have to make. The
Yeah.
old King's Crown, though, that looks nice.
Yeah, I am probably going to get Old King's Crown. Probably.
Is that
I think
two-player
it's like
game?
2 days left, or a day left at this point.
1 to 4 players. Okay.
Yeah.
It says large scale. It doesn't look large scale at all.
Yeah.
52 pounds.
That's pretty large scale.
No, not the weight.
I know.
You got me good.
But yeah. I will say I feel like, and maybe it's just because I use Kickstarter so much, I think Gamefound is still really confusing to use.
Yeah, I think it does get confusing when you don't know what you're getting
Yeah.
with your pledge versus what they're offering,
Yes.
where you could potentially double dip on something on accident.
Yeah. So I do find it a little silly to navigate, a little challenging to navigate as far as that goes. What I can't decide, and this is what my problem is with, this is the second printing for Old King's Crown. It's like, oh, do you want to do this thing? I'm like, well, they're doing it, but also with an expansion. And I don't even know if I like the base game, but it
Yeah.
would feel really silly to just back the base game and not get the expansion.
I think I agree. I used to agree with you. I think I've pivoted on that, and I like look at Foundations of Rome, a game I really want to play that I
Yeah.
still haven't played, and
Yeah.
like there's a full size expansion sitting on top of it. I'm like, it's going to take me forever just to get to this game itself.
Yeah.
I don't need this expansion. I'm never gonna play it. It's like, yeah, the collector part of me wants to have it in case I want it, but there's the resale market is alive and well for board games. So if you really wanted something, unless it became like a Battlestar Galactica, you could probably easily find an expansion that you didn't get on the Kickstarter.
Yeah. And the reason I am potentially leaning towards getting just the base game is they have quick delivery for it, so you can get it
I
in
saw
like
that. Yeah.
May.
Yeah.
Whereas like if you either have to pay for two shippings to have the two things shipped separately, or wait until like next May to
When does
get
that
it. This is like
close?
so
1 day and 14 hours. Okay.
yeah,
Interesting.
a little bit of time still. But yeah, so we'll see. But yeah, Brass Pittsburgh, the other one. Like, man, ugh. I've never played a Brass game, but you know,
This might be the
Brass
one.
Link or Brass Birmingham's the number one game on Board Game Geek. Feels like I should be playing a Brass game, right?
I mean, it certainly looks good.
Yeah. I mean, heck, Josh, Brass Brass has you can buy a coin add-on, and the coins are $100.
But they're really nice looking coins.
They are really nice looking coins, but they're $100. Anyway, yeah, so crowdfunding is thriving, crowdfunding is dead. We talked a lot about crowdfunding. Anything else with crowdfunding, Josh?
Nope.
Yeah. I do have I have a couple games that I should be getting soon ish, I
Yeah.
think. Cuz I got the Dino one. You remember this game?
No.
Did I
A
get Goats?
dino one.
It's man, I should remember this stuff. I just cannot remember it off the top of my
What's
head.
it like?
It's so here's the only reason I got the game, Josh. This is so stupid. A, it was pretty affordable, but B, it's like dinos. You have dinosaur meeples, and then they can carry eggs on their backs, and that's the reason I
Oh,
got it.
okay. All right. So you bought meeples.
I bought meeples. I did buy meeples. I don't know, Josh. I thought I was excited at the
Hey, it's
time.
your money. You can do
I know,
with
right?
it
I can do what I
whatever
want with
you
my
want.
money. Oh man, I have to log into Kickstarter. It won't just tell me. Yeah, and I think I also got. Did I get the goats like the Mountain Goats Legacy game? I think I did.
Oh, you did. Yeah. I think you told me you got that.
Yep, I got that, and then I also got. Oh, there was something else that I just got the pledge manager for. Oh, I Core Discovery has a duo game coming out, and I loved Core Discovery, so I got the duo version of that. So, but
Nice.
that'll be a while until I get that. So, yeah, does it dinos, Josh? That doesn't just mean something to you. Why does dinos not just mean something to you?
I mean, it means something to me. The second you say it, it means that's not the kind of game I want to play.
Yeah, you know
Most
what? I'm
likely.
gonna. What if it becomes like my favorite board game ever, and you missed out on what was an exceptional board game? How are you gonna feel then?
Well, just because it's your favorite board game ever doesn't mean it is the best board game ever.
That's true. Yep, it is. It is called Dino. Yeah,
Sure. I didn't
so,
doubt that at all.
yeah, I don't know. I know. I was a sucker. It was actually really affordable too. I think it was like $30. But yeah, it was just because the dinosaur meeples like carried eggs on their backs. But yes, I did get Mountain Goats Legacy as well. Oh yeah, because I just got an update from them. So yeah, there we go. See, I got stuff coming.
Good.
Anyway, all right,
Good for
Josh.
you.
Enough of this happy stuff and us spending money.
Yeah.
Talk about some poor people who aren't going to want to spend money anymore because
Literal poor people.
I know. You know, with all the good news, and we were talking about how the hexscape that is video games is recently. Epic has announced they're laying off 1,000 people, Josh.
Oof, that's a lot of people.
1,000 people are being laid off from Fortnite developer Epic Games. Now, what is fascinating about this to me, Josh, is that Fortnite is the game that everyone has been chasing to copy, right? Everyone has wanted to make their Fortnite.
Yeah.
Well, Epic laid off 830 people in 2023, and now they're laying another 1,000 people off today, now, currently. Um, what? I don't even know what to like say about it other than that's horrible, right? Just
It's
bad,
horrible. For a company you assume prints money, it
right?
does seem a harder pill to swallow than a small studio laying some people off.
Right, because they're also a privately held company, right? So it's not like they have investors they need to make happy.
Yeah.
Um, but also, so in the Game Informer article about this, they also note that Tomb Raider developer Crystal Dynamics laid off staff last week. Battle Studios laid staff off after launching one of the most successful games of 2025. Ubisoft laid off over 100 employees at Red Storm Entertainment. Highguard launched and was fully shut down just 3 weeks later. And Riot Games laid off 80 employees following 2XKO's launch. And then obviously Sony also just recently shut down Blue Point Games. So are we in a situation, Josh, where more and more people will talk about like the video game crash is coming, right? That the similar to what happened in the early 80s, that the video games are going to face a crash. Are we already in a crash? Like how do we know? Like how do we know when we have hit like what is rock bottom? Because it feels like nothing is enough. Right? Absolutely nothing is enough. Fortnite is probably one of the most successful games that has ever existed as far as how much money it has made.
Yeah.
And they're laying off 1,000 more people. Like what do we even do?
I think for Fortnite, it's like too much of a good thing is what it is now. I mean, and that's a subjective sentence.
Mm-hmm.
uh, where like my son is in Fortnite now, and it's basically Roblox now. So like
Yeah.
he's playing Phasmophobia in Fortnite,
Mm-hmm.
made by someone, and it's all So like it's kind of lost what Fortnite means. Or what it is. I know that they were doing like the Saves the World version is going to be free
Yep.
now. That was a game that nobody even knew existed except for us, like OG, like
Yeah.
people who were
Those old
around when
people.
Fortnite came out.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, so they talk about with the layoffs, they're also shutting down Fortnite Festival
Mm-hmm.
and I think the Rocket Racing and Ballistic. And my son loves Ballistic.
Right.
But people just made that in the creator mode. So when
Yeah.
Ballistic was down last year for like a couple months, he found it that someone just made a different version of it.
Right.
So I think like part of this obviously is the cost that they are accruing to make this content still.
Sure.
But also, if you read the article, they also take away 200 V-Bucks for the same price. So now you're paying
Yep.
$9 for 800 instead of 1,000, and
Yep.
then a skin comes out and it's like 1,200.
Right.
So you can't even get a skin for $20 anymore.
Yeah.
So they're really that's part of the problem, and Fortnite also exists in a vacuum where people can either be content with the characters they have and get the same exact experience,
Mm-hmm.
versus the person who comes in and buys the new character every time they launch, and they spend
Right.
$80 a week on skins
Yeah.
to play that skin once.
Right.
So yeah, I think they just need to trim it down and get if they want to save money and make money, if they want to make all this money they're supposedly losing,
Right.
stop trying to get you have everybody.
Right.
Stop it. Like, you don't need to get anyone else to your game. They're going to spend all your V-Bucks. Just get rid of the stuff you're getting rid of.
Yeah. It's just, it's rough out there. I feel bad for all developers because I don't know why anyone would ever want to go into the industry, because either
Oh no, it's
you're
terrifying.
getting laid off or you're worried about getting laid off. And then, I think it was Tim Sweeney made some comment about, he's like, oh, there's going to be 1,000 super competitive like resumes going out into the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. For what jobs?
Right. Very, very out of touch. Again, all these CEOs think that they understand the the people that work for them.
Yeah. I don't know. It is. Yeah. It's rough out there, man. It's rough out there.
It's scary. You never know. And like, I worry about my job safety all the time. And
Yeah.
I couldn't, like you said, I couldn't imagine like being in a game developer's shoes because you're basically a freelancer at this point.
It really does seem that way. There feels like there is no um security anywhere, and that's where this idea of like being like loyal to your company is like, why at this point, right? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there are great companies out there who are doing really good things, but for a lot of the, especially these big companies, like I don't know why you would ever like be loyal to them at this point, because they very clearly have showed it is all just about the bottom line. So
Yeah. Big old bummer.
but all right, Josh. Well, hey, let's talk about some happier news potentially. Uh Xbox did a partner preview.
Yeah.
We see these from Xbox from time to time. It was pretty. They were pretty chill about the announcement. They were pretty chill about all the stuff. They're just like, hey, we're doing this partner preview. Come see, what our partners are doing.
Yeah.
And people made some speculated about what might be happening where, and then they showed it, and people were no longer speculating. They just had ideas about how they thought about things. So, Josh, did you watch the partner preview? What were your reactions? Any standouts to you, good sir?
I did watch it. Yes. I thought it was okay. I thought it was mostly fine.
Okay.
I did enjoy Aaron Paul narrating, which was a little bit of a spoiler to like, okay, so they got Aaron Paul, so they're obviously going to announce something with him, and he's only done one thing recently. Uh,
Yeah.
so that was a surprise that, well, it was going to be a surprise until I heard his voice.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I thought overall it looked good. Standouts. I mean, my son was very happy with Bluey's Happy Snaps. I think it looks like they ported the mobile game into a console game. So I'm not thrilled about having to buy it for him.
Oh, gotcha.
But
Yeah.
he was thrilled. I think for me, if I want to pick out some standouts, I think what's it called? Artificial Detective. Artificial Detective seems very interesting to me. I'm curious what the gameplay will actually be like.
Really?
Yeah, it does look. It does remind me of Detroit Become
Uh-huh.
Human. Why? What do you got? What do you have up your
Josh, that
sleeve?
was my least favorite. I
Oh,
think that was
really?
probably my least favorite trailer of the
I'm
entire thing.
surprised.
I wanted to like it, but man, I don't know. Something about that was just, that trailer was so grating to me. And I don't know why. I don't know what it is about it, but
Yeah,
I was like, I should like this game. I should want this game.
yeah. It
And
seemed like it's a
just,
Kyle one right out of the bat.
yeah, nope. I'm like, I have zero. And maybe it'll win me over, but oh man, I just,
No, that's
yeah.
funny. That's funny that you had that take. That's okay. That's cool though. I certainly have shared opinions like that on games that people were over the moon on. Uh, and I'm also just I'm very curious what the Expanse is going to be like. Is it going to be like Mass Effect, or is it going to be like part of that trailer made me think it was like the Directive 8020 game?
Uh-huh.
And then part of it like made me feel like it was like Mass Effect-y, like with the combat and stuff. I never watched the show, so I don't have like a tie to the universe at all.
Hmm.
Um, but parts of it looks pretty good to me. But I'm also
Yeah.
very curious what that game's going to play like.
I've read 2 or 3 of the books,
Oh, okay.
I think. The book series. So I've read a little bit about it, or I've read a couple of the books in the series.
Yeah.
Um, watching this, I was like, and I'm not saying this is bad, but it was. I felt like everything was like, hey, remember when you did this in Mass Effect? You can do it here too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
remember when you did this in Mass Effect? You could do it here too. Like that's what I felt like the entire time I was watching it.
Yeah. 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 I see that. I mean, I still think it looks cool.
Oh yeah, it might be great. I hope it's great. It very much was like, it felt like, hey, you're maybe never gonna get another Mass Effect, so
Yeah.
try
Well,
this instead.
yeah, we want it, so we'll take whatever we can get at this point.
Yep.
um. Shoot. What was I going to say? I was going to say something. What about you? What were your takes on this one?
So overall, I thought this was a nice mix of games and gameplay, right? Like you had, things like Alien Death Storm,
Worst
Uh,
name for a game ever.
along with like Bluey's Happy Snaps, like you had mentioned, right? Like
Yeah,
I think you had a little bit of some really different things. Obviously, really happy for Dispatch to get the Xbox. It was my favorite game of last year, so
yeah,
excited more people are going to get to play it. The Eternal Life of Goldman is a game I've been looking forward to for a really long time. I think the art in that game is pretty incredible. We'll see. I've heard some people who've played the demos say that the controls are a bit challenging, just because of the game looks so good. It's really hard to be able to tell like what you can interact with and what you can't.
yeah.
So like hitting like jumps and things like that can be challenging. But Josh, the game I am most excited about from this whole thing was Ascend to Zero,
Yeah, of course.
which is probably not surprising, right?
Nope.
It is, action roguelike, um, bullet hell kind of shooter, pixel arted. Like I thought that game looked
Yeah.
awesome. I thought it was a good showing for that game. Is something I'm definitely looking forward to playing. As I was watching it, and who knows if this will be true, I was like, "Man, I bet you that's going to be really fun to play on my Steam Deck." That's what
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
thinking,
I bet it would.
as I was watching it, and it's amazing to me how my uh, entry into gaming and the way I look at games has changed in the last like really just like 3 months,
Yeah.
to 5 months of like I was like, oh, that looks like a great game for me to play on my Steam Deck. Uh,
That's how great the
the
Steam
forever
Deck is.
yeah, forever ago I thought looked. Man, I'm like, do I want to be sad? I don't know.
Right.
Ugh, probably gonna be fun, but I don't want to be sad. Happy that Hades 2 is finally coming to additional platforms, so that's great.
I was
But again,
surprised they didn't like it's coming to Game Pass and they did not advertise that at all during that. Even when it came up at the end, it didn't say like coming to Game Pass.
oh, did
It
it?
it didn't show on the end of the trailer at least. They put out like a screenshot afterwards that showed the games that were coming to Game Pass. I'm gonna
Hmm.
watch the end again. Yeah, it just says coming April 14th, and it just says cloud. It doesn't say Game Pass on it.
Oh, I wonder if they sealed that after they'd already cut everything.
Maybe because I was
Yeah,
surprised. I'm like, is it coming to Game Pass? Like, it's great that it is, but you like
right.
show your value in your own event.
Yeah. Um, I s- oof. Serious Sam Shatterverse.
Yeah, yeah. Nobody
I
needs
was
that
like,
game.
boy, um, good luck. I hope that game works out for them. I feel like we've had a lot of those recently that have not quite
People
worked out.
love Serious Sam for some reason, so
Really?
it's still. I think it still sells well on PC.
Okay. Well, good. That's good then. I hope it does well. But
I mean, I
uh,
don't.
I also I mean, I'm still excited for Super Meat Boy 3D. I thought that was a really weird trailer.
I tried the demo. I didn't love the demo.
Yeah, I we'll see how
The
it.
trailer was bad.
Yeah, the trailer was bad. I agree.
Yes.
I'm still interested in the game because I do like Super Meat Boy. So I think trying to take that game and make it a 3D game is interesting. And it's out in a couple weeks, so or actually no, like 2 days from when we're recording.
Oh
So we'll
yeah.
see how
Yep.
that goes. But hopefully it's better than the trailer was, which might not be that hard to be. But overall, like I said, I thought it was a kind of an interesting mix of things. What for me was always most fascinating is the things that I was least interested in overall. For well, I shouldn't say least, but like Alien Deathstorm and Artificial Detective, like the first and last trailers were kind of the two, or I was like pretty like meh about both of them.
Yeah.
Um, so I was like, well, that's curious that the things I am most interested in are just stuck shoved in the middle there. Yeah, as far as that goes. But what is your thoughts? I know you're not like a huge like Yakuza person, but Stranger Than Heaven, excited about that one? Yay, nay? What are your thoughts on Stranger Than Heaven?
I once I saw what it was, I'll be honest, I kind of stopped paying attention.
So I assumed, yeah.
But I mean, I still think the games they all look great. I think that I've heard great things about how they play,
Hmm.
and I might even enjoy them. But I just, from what I've seen, and
Yeah.
just from what people say, like it's not something. I don't know what I'm trying to say. It's not like a typical like genre game. So
Hmm.
yeah, it takes some getting used to the changes and all that and the tone and all that. So I just haven't dived into it.
Yeah,
And there's like there's so many now. Like where would I even start?
for sure. Okay, I'm now questioning myself. Did the show open with Alien Deathstorm or did it open with Hunter the Reckoning?
it might have opened with Hunter. I know Bluey was sandwiched between two pretty violent games. I don't
Perfect.
remember if it was Alien Deathstorm or not. No, because I don't think it opened with Alien Deathstorm.
Was it Hunter the Reckoning Death
It might
Wish?
have been, yeah, yeah,
Okay. Yeah. So,
yeah.
hey,
Because I thought it was like
haha.
another um, vampire game or something.
Yep. So yeah, there you go. All right. Well, never mind. But also that game I wasn't super interested in either, so that's fine. my my
Yeah.
my statement still stands. But yeah, I think the thing I appreciated about this the most was that it was like a half an hour and it was done.
Yes, it was quick. Yeah.
It was quick. I saw multiple games in there I'm interested to play, a whole bunch that I'm not, but that's okay. They all don't have to be for me. But yeah, I overall I was pleased with the partner preview. So, all right, Josh, anything else you want to talk about, or should we wrap this up?
Oh, we can wrap it up if you like.
All right. Well, hey man, let's wrap it up. Do you have any recommendations for our listeners to celebrate their victories this week? Something you think they should check out?
You know, I didn't put anything in here because I've been struggling to put something in here. I know I talked about I haven't been doing like a whole ton. So I know I talked about rewatching The Mandalorian with my son, which we're still
Yeah.
doing. We just finished season 2.
Hmm.
So the finished season 2 this afternoon, and I was just so giddy and happy with his reaction to the big finale. If I don't want to spoil it for people who haven't watched The Mandalorian since the movie's coming out soon, but
Yeah.
it's a pretty huge moment at the end of season 2 of Mandalorian,
Mm.
and my son, like went crazy, and then I was like, "Oh, great, let's watch the making of now, so I can show you the making of it." And he couldn't have been less interested. Uh, so that's okay. So that was really more for me, but I guess I'll say, you know what I used to like to do when I worked at Best Buy. I had a friend Jen who is now a writer for Pluribus,
Hmm.
um, who we would trade movies, like trade
Mm.
movie recommendations or land movies to each other. And it kind of makes me think of how I'm like introducing my son to all this stuff. And we started talking at work about shows and things for people who would not have otherwise seen them. So
Mm-hmm.
if you can, like, just start up a chat with someone you work with that maybe you never talked to movies about before, and be like, hey, like, what's your like favorite film? We did this at work the other day last week, and um, I will tell you, one of my uh, night guys, we were talking. He may or may not listen to this. I did tell him we have a podcast, and he took our card. Um,
Ooh.
but we asked, uh, what's your favorite movie, and then what's like the best movie ever made.
Oh, okay.
And when I asked him what his favorite movie was, he said The Core, and then I said, wait, what?
Yeah.
And that really caught me off guard.
Sure.
Um, I had a hard time answering the best movie ever made, but because like it's so subjective, but it did start off a fun conversation, and um, it could lead you to like find something that you didn't know existed was out there, or you might like something that you thought you would hate.
I haven't seen The Core in so long.
Yeah.
Man, do I need to watch The Core again?
No, let me tell you, spoiler alert, you don't.
Okay. Okay.
Once is
Okay.
enough for most people.
Okay. Huh. All right. So, have a conversation with people at work, watch things. Hey, you know what? That is how I ended up watching New Girl, and I loved New Girl.
There you go. See?
There you go. It works. It works. Mine recommendation is not a good recommendation, I don't think, but it's something that I love.
Yeah.
And that's Top Chef is back. I do love Top Chef. I've watched every season of Top Chef, and the new season has started. I think we're on week 3 now, or tonight would be week 4. It would be the 4th episode, and I don't know. There's just something about the show, especially with like where it started and where it's come to. Because when the show first started, it was very a lot of big personalities, but big in like a negative way, like a lot of conflict, a lot of
Mm,
people fighting with each other.
yeah.
I mean, there was like a physical assault like one time on the show. Like a lot of things have happened on the show, but now for the most part, for the seasons, like people are like cheering for each other. That doesn't mean they don't like have conflict sometimes. They don't like sometimes like butt heads, but there's like doesn't tend to be this like outward um people just trying to like I'm gonna win at no at whatever cost. Like, and if I have to like screw someone else over to do it, I'm going to. It does seem to have a lot more like camaraderie of like, hey, we're in this experience together. Let's make the best of it. Try to have the best experience we can, and whoever's the best is just gonna win, right?
Yeah.
Like, so I do appreciate that it's gotten, and maybe that's like a little too cheery for people, but I do appreciate that it is more similar to like the Great British Bake Off than it is to like the old seasons of Top Chef.
Yeah.
It's still not as wholesome as Great British Bake Off, but it is nice that for the most part, people are supportive, encouraging, helpful to one another, and you just get to see people make like really interesting food, and yeah, food is just fascinating to me, and seeing what people can make is just so cool. So yeah, Top Chef, it's back on
Nice.
Bravo/Peacock, so check it out.
Nice. We watched a lot of we watched the Tournament of Champions Christmas or holiday
Oh yeah,
special, and my
yeah,
son really liked that a lot. So we've been watching Tournament of Champions 7.
yeah,
I really like that. I'm
yeah.
surprised I like Guy Fieri. I didn't expect myself to like him. I don't necessarily love him, but
Sure.
I like him more than I thought I would.
Yeah, he's okay. I think he's a better host than he is a chef, if that
Yeah,
makes sense.
probably.
Or slash cook. But and he does a nice job of, I think, the people elevating people in his orbit, right?
Yes.
Like I think he does a nice job of that, of and giving them opportunities like Tournament of Champions, where it's like, hey, let's get these people on. And there's a lot of people who have been on Tournament of Champions who are formerly Top Chef people. So
Yeah, and people from other competition shows like
yep,
the baker, the girl that we like, I forget her name, but she was on like cake, what was it called? There was a cake show. It wasn't Is It Cake? And it was like 5 professional bakers, and they would compete like one-on-one or one-on-one, and 2 would sit out or something like that. I wish I could remember the name of it.
gotcha.
But the girl from it was on the Tournament of Champions holiday special, and
Oh,
she
very
was
cool.
with like a really big chef, and it's nice to see that. It's funny though. There's only like 40 people in the audience,
I know, right? Yeah.
and I'm like, oh man, it must be like they pump in so much crowd noise. You feel like the chefs are like cooking for 100 people.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Awesome.
cool, good recommendation.
All right, Josh. Hey, let's wrap the show up.
Yeah, let's do that. Thanks for joining us, everyone. As a reminder, you can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/boardwithvg, on Instagram at boardwithvg, and via email at boardwithvg@gmail.com. And whatever podcast service you're listening to us on, we encourage you to give us a 5-star rating, as it helps other people discover our podcasts. You can find me on all the things at Why So Serious. That's SIRRIUS. Kyle, where can people find you?
So you can find me on all the usual places: Instagram, PlayStation Network, Xbox Live, Board Game Geek, all at Cyclocross, CYCOCROSS. As always, if you have suggestions for future topics, be sure to reach out to us on social media, because we want to talk about what you want to hear about. And remember, everyone, whether it be board games or video games, never stop gaming.